Order for good news, guess ye pan and nabeto drum, so meeting in Abrel, Ghana to order for Ghana for Atadri Ghana for your tidden we a tertiary school for no or more a university Atadri or Matiden Ghana for Obeka John the Money Mama Kase yet the free tertiary education ebema or more just a wedi them yes say budget no ye nyina ahyemu enti no ejebo eja enya ba bedu sa policy no ye de ba be ye adwuma wo tertiary wo university na se wuntumi ntua school fees yes aban ba be ko nwa orofo good news kese na ba be pimu 2026 budget ni mu a chese Ghana ase no bi aka ho asem yes free education dey o ye den still anu ye kuremu den orofo John Dramani Mahama ogbo ejumadin ye pan through onankasa ne finance minister and the Bank of Ghana governor mo ogbo ejuma ye pan orofo breaking news kese na abeto dwa menso medin nyina bro wo Ghana to good news na chese Ghana ha nyina atadwe ye ba betenden ne wo tertiary education yesi sa free tertiary education wo so onsa eba bekabi odofo good news kese na abeto dwa menso medin nyina bro wo Ghana to manko ne kwaji sa good news wo nyina nchiremu wo Ghana to member isia
student loan trust together with the yet to be established Ghana Scholarship Authority will collaborate to see to the disbursement of that. I'm praying that in the next couple of weeks, the president will assent to the bill if Parliament finishes its part of the work and sends the bill for presidential assent in accord with Article 106 of the Constitution. So there will still be free tertiary vocational education, and that's why I said that the financing allocation for the Ministry of Education and its agencies may not be sufficient, but at least adequate for now and adequate within the constraints of the budget. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen of the media, a few of you are here. I still recall before 2025, one of the most nagging questions the media asked the NDC and President Mahama was, show us one social intervention policy of your government. We have sufficiently and adequately provided and answered the Ghanaians and answered the Ghanaian public. I have identified three. Those of you who are more intellectual than me can add the additional ones. Mahama Cares is a social intervention policy. No fee stress is a social intervention policy. Free education policy. Free education for persons with disability is a social intervention policy. And therefore our critics, you are now naysayers because we have answered you and answered you adequately. That under President Mahama's research agenda, we have responded adequately, and he would leave that as an enduring legacy of the Mahama presidency. And no academic fees policy for all first-year students. You would note that some 537.4 million has been allocated for that purpose, representing 7.6% from what was allocated in 2025. And many of the students are grateful for that intervention, and that takes a bit. We have also expanded the remit of the student loan trust into the +1 they have. Even students of Ghana School of Law who hitherto did not advantage, and therefore we have also expanded the remit of the student loan trust into the +1 they have. Even students of Ghana School of Law who hitherto did not benefit from it, we've expanded the trust into the +1 they have. Even students of Ghana School of Law who hitherto did not benefit from it, we've expanded it for them to benefit. So in total, 4.2 billion has been dedicated to sustaining and improving the free senior high school and free TVET program. This investment will ensure that every Ghanaian child, regardless of background, has access to secondary education. We will do everything possible. Last year, it was 3.5 billion in the 2025 budget. So from 4.2 billion is an appreciable increase. Part of the crisis in free senior high school is infrastructure. The lack of, or call it inadequate, classroom, dormitories, laboratories, ICT centers to turn them digital would embark on one of the most ambitious education infrastructure programs. So that explains what the Minister for Finance explained, that there will be 200 kindergarten blocks, 200 primary schools, and 200 junior high schools, and then 400 teacher bungalows and 400 modern sanitary facilities. I may just want to emphasize one of it, the junior high school concept. Many of you, those of you who are privileged to have been born urban and live in urban areas, your story may not be the same as mine. In rural areas, there are some communities where children have to walk a mile, sometimes up to a 2, in order to be able to access junior high school education. And in many instances, we have 12 to 13 communities that combine to be able to have access to a junior high school. The intervention of the 200 junior high school is to resolve and respond to the need across the country. So we will do that. And then on teachers bungalow, as you recall in the manifesto, we promised Teacher Dabre. It was one of President Mohammed's flagship pledges to the Ghanaian people. I'm currently reviewing a paper and a proposal from the District Assembly Common Fund. And District Assembly Common Fund, GET Fund, GSOP, the pension fund of the teachers, and the Teachers Union, we intend to embark on a provision of 50,000 housing units for teachers under that effort. The administrator of the District Assembly Common Fund was in Morocco a while ago, a few weeks ago, to engage with some of the partners. What we need is to identify what the funding mechanism will be for the delivery of it. Then to emphasize that it is not the wish of President Mohammed that any new education infrastructure is built without sanitary facilities, particularly changing room for girls. Director General GES, so a must that when your procurement unit is under.
She was bleeding through her mouth. She was bleeding through her nose. Her pulse had dropped. Her body temperature was dropping. Her heartbeat had dropped. Everything was moving so fast. And I could feel, I could feel it within that my baby was dying. I stood there and I watched her. I watched how she struggled to take her breath. I watched how she tried opening her nose wider to breathe. I saw the discomfort on her face as she took her last breath. I watched her as she took her last breath.
Expanded infrastructure through a digital provision, and we are happy to announce a new flagship program known as the Ghana Secondary Learning Improvement Program, a 2-year World Bank supported project valued at $180 million. The World Bank team is in town. They are doing this assessment across the country, and they would also even further support some of the e-block initiative that was started and not completed. So be assured that we would come back to you. In 2026, a total of 1.1 billion has been allocated under the Ghana Secondary Education Learning Improvement Program to execute infrastructure expansion and, more importantly, quality improvement, which is about teachers. I have maintained all the time that the quality of a student is a function of a good teacher, and therefore we need to boost their morale, work to improve their conditions of service with teacher Dabre. I know for many teachers, improve conditions of service meant that I should increase basic salary tomorrow, and then they'll be able to smile at government. So we will expand, and let me give you the background to it. We will expand a number of category A schools, and we intend to expand 10 category B schools to A and 10 category C schools to B, and then expand some areas. And then to many of the schools that may be listening to me, on my way here, I have added Mankrasu Senior High School based on their performance at the National Maths and Science Quiz. My heart is warmed to reach out to them to know that the country appreciate that, given the deprivation. They have demonstrated excellence and academic pursuit. So I'm still monitoring. There's also a school in the Eastern Region, Kade, where their student became a best science student, yet they have no science laboratory. I will reward them with a laboratory into next year. We intend under the $180 million to complete 30 community days senior high schools, what is referred to as the E-block. So I recognize that the Director General of GTech is in. When I get to teacher education, I'll come to you and see what we are able to do together. And then
for when a good news kesi a chese abeto dwa chese education for omate denne say free SHSO say tertiary education say basic education for good news kesi pa and akọ ediama education institute for nyina and as education service for nyina for this time round you see secondary school for omolake eye dormitories laboratories ICT labs na ade nyina no ye ba beye ni nyina de amom kama afensu tertiary school for atadwo mate denne wo sikasem na ade nyina ye de ama school fees na ye de ama nyina no yes student loan krado de ama na chese omo ye disabled chese omo chese omo ye qualified da betumi ko tertiary school a omedi dem omuntumi nye sika odofo yesi free tertiary education abamo sangofo nyina odofo we any good news kese abetodwa amenso medi nyina bro wo Ghanatube say this time round say education no ye shemu kena ye shemu dendenden de ama Ghana fo nyina wa ye krado so peso ko school no aban so aye krado se obeso wasini yie say sikasem say ye den ye beso wasini yie se na be ya wo so betumi akọ school no na che se wodi good results na wo so wa che we busuafo nyina anunyam odofo aban no aye krado so be boa obi biara wo Ghana ha say basic level say SHS level say tertiary level dabi ye beso bia se ne ye obi enfim aban na ekado say obey sanya manyama wo nyina de ma Ghana fo nyirofo we na good news abetodwa am so be nyina bro wo Ghanatube mo refi se me like na ma subscribe na ma share na ma hit notification bell no so am say the be abrini abibia dope content say ya wo na me na okasa no wo nya ne tempa na wa hwe wetim rofo aha ana mbede nsem nyina bisi wo Ghanatube so rofo makra mo nyina beda mo nyina si bebre